our first speaker. An avid reader and well known in our circles, our first speaker is none other than our principal, Mr. Joseph. Though he leads us in our endeavors as principal of this great institution, there is a trait that he possesses that sets him aside from the rest. Mr. Joseph is a compulsive sharer. If there's one thing I've learned from him, it is everything I know is absolutely useless if I don't share it with another human being. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage Mr. Carol Joseph.
Good afternoon, everyone. I dislike talking about myself, so what I share today, or the pictures that you see today, I've probably shared for the first time. Everybody else had family. Let me begin with a short history of myself. My parents were both teachers. My father in St. Francis College, Lucknow. My father was the headmaster. My mother was junior school teacher. There were 6 children, and I was the 4th. And yet, that grumpy one in the middle, that was me. They didn't take pictures of the 5th and 6th together. And there's 5 of us, 4 of them in Australia, and 3 in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne, 1 in Calcutta, and Kolkata, and 1 in I'm the 6th one here. I never chose to go out. One, I wanted to be a teacher and be in India, and Mom was alone. As a child, I made the mistake of talking early, so I was sent to school early, and as things would have it, luck would have it, I turned out being almost 2 years younger for the class. And so all students who are now in grade 9, I was in 11 at that time, and when I finished, when I was in class 12, I was just 15 years of age. But I still made the most of whatever, and Dad wouldn't let me repeat a class. As a student, I enjoyed reading, I enjoyed studies. As much as I understood of them as I got older, I took part in stage activities. And because we were a family of 6, we were each other's support system. This picture that you see is in the NCC. I just turned 13, and I was trying to get into the Republic Day camp. I'm second from the right. You won't recognize it. Perhaps the cleft in the chin might have. My mom and dad never consciously taught us things, but what I learned from my dad was sheer hard work, integrity, the choices you made and why you made a choice, making a difference in and out of the classroom, making a difference to people who were with him in the office and outside. Mom was all fidelity. Mom was also labor, looking after 6 kids with sometimes 1 year and 2 years difference, not easy. And she was all labor, uncomplaining, all grit and resilience. And I picked up a bit of that along the way. From both of them, I learned that money was important, but not that important. You never ever sold yourself to the highest bidder, no matter how high that bid was. What matters was what you did with what you had. What mattered was processes. What mattered was the kind of choices that you made. And so I feel blessed with the inspiration that I then had, the role models that I then had. And I feel blessed the way I am and the way God made me. I'm not sure if I consciously picked up life skills, as I said, but along the way, to my early years, I guess we just do things because we want to do things. It was my father who recommended that I be a teacher. And I was barely out of my teens when he passed away. And so I was not yet 20 when I ended up back in Lucknow, my hometown, looking after myself and looking after mom. And that's me when I was in training college. I was young, I started off young, and I was just getting ready to be a teacher. Early on in life, in my teaching years, I was moved by a story, by a book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Jonathan is a bird, a gun, who wants to be the very best that he can be. He wants to fly and use whatever God gave him to the best possible ability. It comes at great cost to himself, but he perseveres. He is expelled from the flock, and then he returns. He practices on his own, achieves, comes close to as perfection as he could on his own, and then returns to help the flock. And that's what all great leaders have done. They run the gamut of experiences, they go out into the world, they absorb and learn whatever they have, and then they return. Jesus does the same thing. The Prophet Muhammad does the same thing. Buddha does the same thing. They all come back to serve. And Jonathan always remained an inspirational figure for me. Be the very best that you can be. You were given talents, or you were given whatever you were given for a reason. And you can make much with whatever little you are given. And that's the goal. And the second book that moved me much later in life, when I came across this book, was Man's Search for Meaning. We talk of grit and resilience now. There are words that are told to our students very often. But here was a Holocaust survivor. He lost his family. He was there in Auschwitz. He would look at the electric fences, and when many others had lost hope, they would just go to the electric fences and start climbing, and they would be shot. But not Victor Frankl. He always had hope. He always felt he had a reason to live. And from him I learned that you don't look heavenwards for your meaning for existence. You don't look upwards or anywhere out for a reason for what has happened. You give meaning to life. That things will happen. They will happen. But as I read in one article, do they happen to you or do they happen for you? Will you extract some goodness out of it? Victor Frankl looked for meaning and said, what is required of me in the circumstances? And yes, like all others, I have been through my share of adversity, and that's the lesson I've learned. Given the circumstances, what is it that I can do to make life better? What is it that is required of me in the circumstances? I was about 35 when I first came, about 14 years in education when I first became a class teacher. And one of the things that I've learned along the way from the principals that I worked under, from my parents, principles that I worked under, is you always put people first. There's a thing called servant leadership. If you aspire to lead, you must first aspire to serve. When you aspire to serve, only then do you aspire to lead so that you can serve. If you aspire to lead and afterwards think of serving, it's never quite authentic. You first place yourself at the service of those whom you seek to lead. Then there's buying. Then people will trust you. In life, students don't ask, what do I want? Ask, what is wanted of me? Instead of saying, what do I want to be when I grow up, ask, how will the world be a better place because I was here? Instead of asking, or when you ask yourself, who am I? Then go on to the question, whose am I? To whom do I belong? In order to serve, in order to bring goodness, in order to make this world a better place. And this book on servant leadership influenced me a lot. And yes, Ms. Charlie talked about life skills, and I realized that I've forgotten almost all of what I've learned in school. Yes, the English and math stayed, but a lot of it was my own journey. Ultimately, what stays with you are your set of values, your integrity. I'm not much of a Robin Sharma fan, but yes, who will remember you when you die? Or you will not be remembered. Your life will be a testament to what you poured into this world. And the skills that we learn, the competencies that we develop, of grit, of resilience, of labor, of putting others before self, of respecting adversity, diversity, respecting ignorance, respecting resources, teamwork, collaboration. Those are the skills that will finally make this world a better place. But we'll first begin with transforming your life. And in transforming your life, inevitably, you will transform many other lives. Thank you for being here, and thank you to you parents for being a part of our journey, because it's thanks to you that you have helped us take this forward, not only in the day-to-day lives of the children, but in our lives too. Thank you very much.